Hello and welcome to today's episode of Rainer on Leadership, your online home for leadership lessons and advice for the local church. I'm your host, Sam Rainer. I have with me the CEO, the founder, the one and only Thom Rainer of Church Answers. Dad, welcome to your own show. It's always weird doing an introduction and welcoming you because you were here long before I was, but you know.
Hang on tight to your dreams. Hang on tight to your dreams.
Yeah, we canceled that. Right? What that you wanted that as an introduction for?
We had it as an introduction for quite a while. Jonathan hated it.
Well,
He
no, don't blame it on the voice. And by the way, for those
Yeah.
who've been listening a long time, we still have a whole lot of appreciation and love for Jonathan Howell, the voice. Great guy.
Yes.
He did move on.
Yes.
He did move on to bigger and better things. So we hope he's doing well.
No,
But it wasn't
didn't.
Jonathan. It was the listeners that revolted. They were all like, "Why did you change the introduction?"
You are not stating accurately. I was about to say you're lying through your teeth, but I'm just going to say you're not stating accurately. We did a survey, Sam. We did a survey. What do you like? What do you don't like? 3 people said they didn't like that song. And out of a few hundred, Johnson, I told you.
Well, okay.
That's
if it's like church and you've got 3 people, that's plenty to to raise some concerns there.
Oh, I love that song.
But it's not an oldie.
Now, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not an oldie. That's right. Okay, what's our topic today, Sam? I know what it is. Are you tired?
Yeah, I mean, we do follow a little bit of an outline here, so we kind of have an idea of what's coming, but then we just pivot and do something else. We're talking about recovery and how to recover from Sunday when it's Monday, or if you preach Saturdays, Sunday, however it works for you. Most churches meet Sundays, and then you're recovering on Monday with this thing called the Monday Blues, and I think most of us pastors get it. You know, Sunday can be emotionally draining. It's physically exhausting. It's just a physiological effect to Sundays, and especially if you're preaching, but not only if you're preaching. There are plenty of other church activities that require a lot of energy. So we're going to talk about how to recover from Sunday when it's Monday.
You read your Filament Bible. That makes you recover.
Oh, well, hey, that is a very good segue because I love the Filament Bible. I do, and we've mentioned it, I want to say maybe once before on the show. We're certainly thankful to Tyndale, who sponsors the show. But they have what I believe is the most underrated resource in all of Christendom. I mean, and I know that's hyperbole. I know that, but man, it's so good.
There's a little bit of hyperbole, but it is a good one.
I love the Filament Bible. I use it all the time. And every time I recommend it and my people go get it, they come back to me and they say, okay, you kind of explain this. Amy's got one. I know you can't see her.
Amy,
she's off screen, but we can see her. She's showing us her Filament Bible.
Look, Hakeem just put one too.
That's
He's
great.
got his. How about that?
That is great.
Hakeem and Amy both.
Here's the deal. I always, people say, what Bible should I read? I say, okay, go get a New Living Translation and go get a Filament version of the New Living Translation. I get that question all the time as a pastor. And then they go, okay, they go get it. And I show them how to use it. It's got an app. You scan the page number and then it pulls up all these resources around it. And they come back to me after reading it. They go, this is amazing. I mean, they absolutely love it. So we certainly want to tell you about the Filament Bible. It is so rich. It's got an incredible experience. Everything is seamlessly connected to your smartphone. Although I think you can use like an iPad as well if it's got a camera. I think it'll work as well.
Yes, you can.
So I know a lot of people in the church bring their iPads to church. This is just an awesome way to get so much content that is directly tied to what you're reading. It is the perfect blend of print and digital. I love it. You got to go get you a Filament Bible. I'm just saying.
It's like carrying a ton of resources in a bag, commentaries, dictionaries, whatever you say. And instead of that, you just put the Filament Bible out and shows you all those things.
The curated content is
really
so
neat.
good. It's on every page. Curated content on every page. It's just absolutely phenomenal. When I can't, it's one of these things like, why didn't I know about this before? You should be recommending the Filament Bible to your people if you're in a position, a church leadership position. But that's just me.
Okay, let's talk about 5 ways a pastor can use Monday to recover from Sunday. And you've already given the caveat. We know that not every worship day is on a Sunday, but we're presuming that. And let's talk about the 5 issues. Hit number 1, Sam.
Yeah.
What is
Let me
what is
first
to
just say
recover?
I don't take Monday off. So a lot of let's just make that distinction. There are pastors, church leaders who take they take Monday off, but not everyone does. So we're going to talk about this as whether you're taking the day off or not. So Monday is a work day for me. I actually enjoy that. That's by design. If I needed Monday off, my church would give it to me. But for me, I like getting right back in the swing of things, and I know that's not for everyone. But this will apply to just about everyone.
Where did you
Minimize.
get that you like to work all the time?
I do enjoy work. I love rolling right back into it. Actually, I know I'm weird, but after like Sunday afternoon, I'm actually starting to write my next sermon. I just, I just
I
love it.
know.
And
You need to learn to take breaks and relax.
I've been told I am intense. I've had been, but that,
No, I never thought about you being
yeah,
intense
I've been
and very
told
talkative.
that I
I've
have
never
an
figured all that out.
intense personality. And as I've gotten older, I've tried to pare that back. And I always think I'm like, okay, I'm being calm. I'm being calm right now. And everyone's like, you're being very intense right now. I'm like, no, this is me when I'm calm. Um, anyway, first point, minimize major decisions on Monday and maximize prayer. So whether you're taking the day off or not, you really don't need to be making major decisions because there is a particular
Like leaving the church,
like
like quitting.
yeah, oh yeah, don't quit. Yeah, that Monday's not a good time to make that decision. There is a physiological effect to what you're doing on Sunday. And your body the adrenaline will be depleted. You have lower levels of all the scientific stuff that I know nothing about, but I've read about, and I just don't remember. I don't have the studies in front of me. But your body physiologically is tired. It doesn't mean you can't work. It doesn't mean there's things. It doesn't mean you can't. That you're unable to do things. It's just you really don't need to be making life-altering big decisions for yourself or even on behalf of your church on Monday. It's just not wise. Dad, you used to take Monday off, if I remember right, when you were a pastor.
Mm-mm. You remember wrong.
Oh,
I took occasional Fridays off.
okay.
I didn't take Mondays off.
I thought I remember you and Mom playing tennis on Mondays, but maybe that was mistaken.
Fridays.
Fridays. Okay,
Fridays.
well, there you
There
go.
was a tennis court. There's a tennis club in our backyard or next to our backyard, and so you would actually hear us hitting the tennis rackets from the house, and that was all. That was always on Friday. But the point's still the same. I wasn't consistent with it, but it's consistent as anything on taking days off. It was on Friday.
Yeah, and I think just the big picture here is you need a day where you recover. And if you're recovering, making major decisions is not recovering. So maximize prayer, minimize major decisions. Mondays is my day where I spend a lot more time in prayer, and that's very intentional. And I don't know that you need to feel badly about that. If you're strategic about your prayer time, then schedule it and use that time. Use prayer as a means of recovery.
And really connected to that, if you're not making decisions, you probably don't want to have many meetings because meetings may entail decisions. It'll certainly entail discussions and reflection. Maybe Monday's not the best time to have a meeting. I didn't always, when I was a pastor, we had Monday staff meetings and it was a mistake.
I would.
We were too reflective.
I agree. I think if you're having all staff meetings on Mondays, that is a mistake. We have ours on
It
Tuesdays,
was for me.
and I realize there's probably somebody out there who doesn't and does it well, and they're the exception, and that's fine. I mean, good for you. So we're talking just more general wisdom here. I love meeting with people. In fact, when I see Mondays, like it's all blocked off for sermon preparation, which is what I do on Mondays, I'm like, oh, I got to make myself do this because I'd much rather just be hanging out with people. But it's still good for me.
I don't know where you got
I
that. I
know
just,
you and I are very different. We host
boy,
we co-host this podcast, but personality wise, we're very different.
oh my goodness. You can't stop talking. I can't start.
So actually, this coming weekend, I have to travel because I've got I've got something I have to do 4 hours away. involving some board responsibilities. And I'm meeting with people all day Monday, and it's a lot of stuff on Mondays, which obviously I'm not even living by my own advice this weekend. It's a very rare thing for me to be doing it, but I'm very excited about it. So I get, I'm like, ooh, I get to spend all day with people and talk to them about stuff. So it's exciting to me. But generally speaking, it is not wise. You need a recovery day. Part of recovering, you're not yourself. And I've noticed that like Sunday evening is when I really start, and I have to tell people if I have a committee meeting on Sunday evenings, I'm like, listen, I'm not thinking clearly right now. So you guys just need to know that if I say something a little off, it may just be me, but it's probably because I'm tired. So yeah, try to avoid meetings on your recovery day, which for most people is Monday, and only do those on rare occasions or emergencies. Obviously, you have an emergency, then you just have to deal with stuff. But I would be very intentional about using Mondays for prayer, for sermon preparation, for any number of things that does
All right,
not involve
let's
meeting.
expand that. Let's expand that for just a moment. That is one thing I did on Mondays. In fact, I felt like I was behind if I had not started my sermon prep on Monday, because there's so much into a sermon prep, and I want to finish it well. I want to be able to fine tune it, say by the end of the week or near the end of the week. So your recommendation is get a head start on your sermon on Monday. You're making yourself oblivious to anything else that's going around, like messaging and email and social media, and you're getting a head start on your sermon. So you can do that on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to a shout out to all of our bivocational pastors and church leaders that are out there. They're like, yeah, that would be nice to take a recovery day on Monday, but I don't get that.
Exactly.
I've been there.
And they're more and more than
And I've been bivocational before, and I'm kind of co-vocational now, so I know what it's like. And for those of you who are in that situation, it's tough, and God's just got to give you strength. I wish I had better advice, but it's just a tough thing to deal with. You don't have the
that's why
luxury.
they're a hero.
Yeah,
I just
part-time, full-time bivocational people. Let me tell you, yeah, absolutely. It's a tough thing. But I want to take a moment and just talk about church revitalization because we've got a pretty good deal.
we started doing this, and I think it's a really, really good help for our listeners and our viewers. We are now taking a bit of a time to have a featured resource, because so many of our listeners and viewers want to know, okay, what is it you recommend now? And during a short period, can you help me to get this resource? So tell us about this resource, Sam, and then we'll get back to 5 ways a pastor can use Monday to recover from Sunday.
Yeah, this is something we're doing just for our listeners and our viewers. It's a resource called 4 Steps to Revitalization. So you can enter the code 4 Steps ROL. That stands for Rain on Leadership, and it's the number 4. So 4 Steps ROL. You can get the resource for $131. That's 60% off. We're doing this through May 7th of 2022. Of course, if you're listening to this in like 2023 or 2024. Wow, we're really excited that you're doing that. But May 7th is the deadline. I just said the year. I don't know how relevant the year is. But yeah, we're going
Oh,
to.
it's relevant. We have people they're listening years back
They
now.
could be. Yeah, I know. We've got a backlog, and that does happen. And people listen all the way back to the beginning. But yeah, 4 Steps to Revitalization. Enter the code 4 Steps ROL, and you'll get that 60% off. And go check it out at churchanswers.com. So we would be glad to give our listeners and our viewers a very good deal because it's only offered to you guys. We'd love for you to have it.
It's only for our podcast viewers and listeners. And getting back to these 5 ways a pastor can use Monday to recover from Sunday. Working from home or working from anywhere. When I was a leader of a large Christian organization, we called it WFA, working from anywhere, because we didn't assume that you were home. We were doing that before there was a pandemic. We actually created an employee base and trained them. We're one of that organization that I led back then, Sam, was one of the early customers of Zoom. I mean, we were Zooming before Zoom was cool, and before it went public. And I almost regret that we did that, because they ended up stealing some of our best technology people as they started working with them. And I think some of those employees are very wealthy right now because they got some stock in order to go over to Zoom.
Hey, they got in early. Good for them.
Then
I'd say that's good for them.
they did.
Yeah,
So
working from home.
working. home on Mondays.
I do this as much as I would prefer to be in the office and practicing management by walking around. I work from home on Mondays because I'm writing my sermon. I'm staying off of my email as much as I can and other messaging systems, certainly for a few hours while I'm writing my sermon. And it's just a good recovery time. And I come back so like Tuesday is when things really start going. Just boom, we're right back in it. I've got all my meetings. I've got lots of people that I've got to interact with. I'm so much more refreshed. So I take that day, Monday, and it's really the only day that I work from home fully. Like it's always work from home on Mondays all day long. And I find that rhythm really helps me because I'm rolling out of Sunday. I've interacted with a lot of people. Frankly, my voice is shot because I preach at least three times on Sunday. So, my body's able to recover, my voice is able to recover. I'm not taking a whole lot of phone calls unless it's an emergency, and I'm trying not to answer messages unless it's just urgent. I think working from home and having a very specific task that you just knock out, something big, like that big rock, work from home, knock out the big rock. That way you can roll into the rest of your week with a bit of peace about you, refreshment and peace.
So I need to write a book on Monday.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's my
you've
that's my big rock,
a
Sam.
bit of an inside joke there, because we're doing some co-publishing with Tyndale, and we're very excited about a project that's coming up with them, and it requires the both of us, although you especially, to write a lot of books. So we got good stuff coming.
It's just 9 books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got that
I'm just
you can spit out a book every week. That's your reputation, right?
well, my reputation exceeds me then. It doesn't work like that. All right, you use Monday also as your big workout day.
I do. So
So talk
I work out every day. I'm pretty religious about it. 6 days a week, I take Sunday off. And it's just part of my rhythm. It's part of who I am. I have a lot of energy. I am an intense person. And so working out actually helps me be quasi normal in front of people. So Monday is actually the day at night. I tend to work out from about 7 to 9. I work out for 2 hours on Mondays, sometimes 6 to 8 if I can get off a little early, go to the gym. And I just that's the day I just go hard. Monday is a long workout day for me. I've recovered at that point. I'm ready to do something physically active because I am at my desk a
this
lot.
is wearing me out.
And
This is all this work, all this workout. I am just worn out.
well, it's not for
I'm gonna go take
everybody. I'm just
I'm gonna go
giving
take a nap after this
giving
podcast. You're
some
just wearing
tips.
me.
I think if you're in a good rhythm
Okay,
of working out, and if you're not in a good rhythm of working out, Mondays is a good day to start. So let's say that you're not there. Mondays is a good day just to
hey,
to begin that process.
you remember that song, I've Got Rhythm?
I I know some
In
songs
this
that
fast and
say I've got
way,
rhythm.
we sometimes yeah, I believe it's The Happenings was the name of the group.
Yeah, no,
It
I
was
don't know that song.
really, really good song. Right around 1967. You don't remember that? Okay. You were talking about a rhythm, but that was one of my favorite songs. Hey, let's talk about let's put a bonus on here. One of the things that you do that I wish I had done as a pastor, and I love the bonus on here.
Well,
It is
it
to
kind
me
of
it's
goes
better than the first
against
5.
everything that I just said, but that's why it's a bonus. That's why we're going to talk about it.
Well, just the thought of it, even if it's not on Monday, you're making these phone calls to people that don't receive contacts that frequently in the church. And it could be widows, widowers, or sometimes the members who are not among the high maintenance members. You're able to call them, and they're probably just blown away by the fact that the pastor's calling for no particular reason.
Yeah, and so this is after my sermon is done and before my workout in the evening. So if I have a little bit of time, an hour or so, kind of just in between things, I will fill that time with some random phone calls. And it's just, okay, who is a widow in the church? Who's a widower? Who's somebody that's just faithful and really doesn't require a whole lot of interaction from me. They're just glad to serve their church. They don't need the pastor calling them all the time. And so I'll call just or write letters or do something with those folks who are just not often interacting with me, and just call them up, say, hey, it's Sam, just seeing how you're doing. I've got no reason to call other than just check in. if I leave a voicemail if they don't pick up, or if they do pick up, I'll say, you have any prayer requests, anything that I can do for you. And so it's very low key. And so I'm intentionally calling low key people, knowing that it's probably not best for me to deal with drama on Monday. And it's very refreshing. So I know that we just said minimize decisions, minimize interaction, and I still hold to all of those things. But at the end of the day, if you have time, just to call some people who are faithful and low key members, it's a good time to do that. That Monday afternoon, Monday evening time slot is a good time just to reach out to people and just thank
I,
them for
I
serving.
can't remember if I did this on a Monday. The story is still relevant regardless of what day of the week it was. I did not do that with the rhythm, the discipline that you did. But occasionally someone would come to mind when I was a pastor and I would give them a call. No particular reason. And it was not like me because of my introverted nature, but every now and then I would do so. There was a member in our church in Birmingham, Sam. You may remember him, Dr. Jim DeLong. He was a physician. Does that ring a bell at all? No, doesn't ring a bell at all. See your face. Anyway, Jim, great friend, but just a little bit crusty, but always to the point. Good heart. And so I just had him on my mind, and I called him, and he answered. He said, "What's wrong? Am I dying?"
Well, I do get that reaction from folks like that. Like, why are you calling me? Is something wrong? I have had that because they're just not used to it. But that's a good
He
thing.
asked me if he was dying. I said, "You would know better than I am, Jim. I'm just calling to just chat. You're on my mind.
Those are
What do you
encouraging
want?"
conversations to me, where it's like, no, everything's fine. I'm just letting you know I love you. And they're like, well, thank you so much. Or text. If you're like, yeah, I can't call anybody, I just don't have the energy to do that, text them.
There were no texts back in those days. It
There
was just
wasn't,
all
but
calls.
there is now, and it's become much more acceptable practice. And so a lot of times on Monday evenings, even as I'm working out, I'm praying and I'm working out, I'm texting people, I'm lifting or I'm doing something like that.
You're lifting, you're texting, and
In
you're
between
praying.
sets, I'll be texting people and praying for them and just letting them know. And it's just an encouraging time. So use the time wisely. I think Mondays are a good time for you to recover. And if you are contacting people, contact the low maintenance people or the people that you don't often interact with. Don't intentionally go to the high drama people because they're just going to drain you and you're not going to roll into Tuesday refreshed.
So Sam has given us 5 ways a pastor can use Monday to recover from Sunday, plus the bonus. The bonus was my favorite. I actually love that one, and I wish I had done that more. Let's just give you another reminder. Our resource of the day is 4 Steps to Revitalization. You got the code there for the number 4 steps, ROL, Rain on Leadership, and you can get this resource for 60% off through May 7th. And then that coupon or that code expires. We always want to thank Southeastern Seminary. They are committed to helping you get the training you need to pursue your ministry from anywhere in the world. Hey, if you apply now and you put Church Answers as Church Answers, one word, no space, Church Answers plural, use that code, they will waive the application fee. So wherever you are, you may be considering seminary, you may be thinking it's something I really want to do. They can take you to that next step to be equipped to disciple and teach others. And coming to Southeastern Seminary, you'll find that seminary is not just about theological education, it's about ministry preparation. Explore degrees, schedule a visit, or apply today at sebts.edu. That's sebts.edu. You can also see it in the show notes. Thank you. Thank you, Sam, for talking to us about Mondays and how we can handle them better. And always thank you, the viewers on YouTube and those who are listening via your podcast app, to be a part of Rainer on Leadership. Continue to give us a rating and review. Give us a like or subscribe at YouTube, whatever is the right thing to do in order to say that you're connected with us in those channels. Please do so. And join us. Go to churchanswers.com. There's so many resources there, and we'll help to grow and make your church healthier together.